Let's go with another case. In Massachusetts, there was a man that every year at Christmas, he decorated his yard, his house. He had a beautiful light display. And people from all over came to see this light display. Well, there was a woman that was walking down the street. There was snow and ice on the sidewalk. She slipped and fell, broke her leg. Well, she got a lawyer and sued the guy that had the light display and won the case, got big money. Well, needless to say, this guy no longer put up a light display. But how is it that this case, like the others, got into court? Why wasn't the people that owned the property that the sidewalk was on, why weren't they held responsible because they didn't clear the snow and ice? This guy that had the light display, he hadn't invited her to come to his house. So why is he responsible for what happened to her? He had no knowledge that she was on her way. Another case, this woman goes in the hospital. She's going to have surgery. And it's only supposed to take a short while. She will go to recovery. And when she wakes up, she will be taken to a room, be in the hospital for about a total of 8 days, and then go home. Well, this didn't happen. They did the surgery, which was 12 hours or something on that nature. She was put into recovery, and within a few hours, they had her back in surgery doing the same surgery over. They took her back to recovery, and she was there for about 10 days. And one night during a restless period, she pulled a breathing tube out of her throat. Well, they brought an ENT doctor in, and he was aware of the fact that she had had previous surgery on her throat. She had had thyroid surgery, and she had had a quarter taken off. He also knew that she had a very small air passage. He did the surgery, put a trach in, and within just a few hours from the time that the trach was put in, she went into respiratory distress. They got the trach out and put another one in. The one that the ENT doctor had put in was an oversized stainless steel trach. The other doctor put a plastic smaller one in, and she was able to breathe on her own. This woman spent a total of 39 days in the hospital. She went home and she was doing beautiful. She even had a little cap on the end of the trach to where she could talk. She went back to see the surgeon, and he gave her a clean bill of health. She was doing great. She went back to the pulmonary doctor. He did the same thing. The following week, she went to the ENT doctor, who was supposed to check her throat for any infection, anything like that. Set up an appointment for her to go into the hospital and have the trach removed in the hospital and be observed for 24 hours. Well, he didn't do that. He took the trach out in his office. And as she walked out the door, the last thing he said to her was, "If you have any problems, don't call me. Go to the emergency room." Well, about 2.5 hours later, she went down. She couldn't breathe. On the way to the hospital in the ambulance, they had to resuscitate her twice. Then when she got to the hospital, they had to resuscitate her again. For 4 days, she remained in the hospital. And then she passed. The doctor, a lawsuit was put against him for wrongful death. It took 10 years for this to be settled. And the settlement that that family received was far less than the guy that closed the door on his own hand. Then the husband talked to the lawyer and wanted to press charges against the doctor for medical battery, which is a criminal offense. And he was told that no lawyer would handle it. And if he was lucky, he might get a district attorney to press the charges, but he didn't think so. The first settlement offer that was made was very, very small. It was an insult. The doctor never went to court. It was settled out of court. And no one, no district attorney in that area would press charges against him. And this is why I say there is no justice, because the lawyers, the doctors, the politicians, the judges, they all have their own little clique, and they're not going to put one of their own in jail, even though he is guilty as sin.